Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get all the 5-star tomes for the newest Tales of Collab units in order to upgrade them directly from 4.5 stars to 5 stars, which allows them to go up to level 80. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So keep in mind that this is unlocked only after you finish Chapter 3, and you can just wander back to Phrenaxis Labs. You can go up from the entrance to the far left, and there'll be a door with a computer which you will be able to reactivate. In order to actually get all 4 battles unlocked, you will need 350,000 Dream Petal points. If you have less, you can battle, one at a time kind of thing, and it'll lock you out. I don't know the breakdowns of the other ones because I did farm a whole lot of points while doing a lot of those cooking achievements before getting this. I would highly recommend when farming to use one of the cooking items to double your point gathering while you're doing so. Now, in our first example, we're going to use a full-on Tails team, and we actually have the 2 new Tails collab units carrying No-grasta in the back. This is obviously, I was expecting actually a really difficult fight. However, being that this is meant for, people of newer or even moderate, rosters, is not nearly as difficult as it looks. So when you look at the first loadout here, you don't need anything like this. I will show you what I was using. We are using, standard No-grasta, triple pain, all enhanced with No-grasta ore, as well as, the standard bullseye, enemy numbers, MP consumption, and so forth. Now, keep in mind, if you are relatively new to the game, just getting all 4 of the first Tales of Collab units and having No-grasta will be able to beat these fights. And I will show you in the next 3 fights back to back in 3 examples, having No-grasta and only, their personal weapons and also, some standard gear. If you don't have those gear like the Bracelet of Might, that is actually unlocked in the main story. You can try using whatever high level armor you already have, or if you've already unlocked things like the maze, Titus maze, and other things, you can probably have farmed other equipment that will enhance your DPS. The Bracelet of Might, or the Armor of Might, increases damage by 15% when HP is max. However, obviously during the battle, you're going to take damage, in which case, that's why I say it's not nearly as necessary. Alright, so the first one, I didn't really comment on the strategy. In these ones, having No-grasta, you do need a strategy in order to do enough damage. Otherwise, you're going to take a ton of damage and probably die. So in the first example, in all the examples actually, we're going to do Crest to VC in order to activate Slash Zone. And we're going to do the 2-turn AF right here. Note that the enemy does have a barrier that reduces its damage for 15 hits. After that, once you've reduced it, things get a lot easier. I am stacking Whirling Assault from Mila, which actually decreases physical resistance by up to 60%. We have Demonic Tiger Blade, which is obviously the main DPS for Crest. Keep in mind that we're also using his Tiger Blade in enhanced slash damage by 40%, and we also stack things like Cloud Pierce, which allows heal at the end of turn. And then Overdrive, which increases Mila's speed, power, and damage. Yuri also stacks his other move that allows you to get 3 stacks of power and speed to do more damage, after which you spam the Lone Wolf Storm, which allows increased chance of critical damage, such that your units can hit for crit, because we don't have any No-grasta or any other enhancements on the weapons to guaranteed crit rate. If you do need additional help, keep in mind you can definitely use some of the cooking ingredients as well. One of the earliest recipes do give power and int, I believe, plus 20%, and if you use the featured character Alphen, I believe you get 1.5 times, which is 30-30. I actually didn't use it for this example, nor in the final example. So in this fight and the 4th fight, I did not, and I really should have, because as you can clearly see, in the 3rd and 4th fights, I was actually having bodies everywhere. I did not escape unscathed, so to speak. Which makes sense. I mean, after all, I'm literally going in with just the 4 units. I'm sure if I brought gacha units or other things, it would be absolutely cakewalk. having power and int debuffs are extremely useful in these kind of fights. And unfortunately, with just the tails of, you have very limited abilities to reduce int and power. Keep in mind that you do have Guardian Field, which can, from Yuri, can heal and also give Type Shield, which is elemental shielding by 25%. You do have Overdrive, which does give a nominal 15% int down from Mila. And in the fourth example I will show you, you can actually equip one of her other moves, which I forgot the move because I don't use it very often, but it does give a 30% speed down as well as a power down 20. So that is essentially your all your abilities that can kind of reduce power and int. And keep in mind that you will have to choose between other moves and remove certain moves, as you are only have 3 moves per unit. Otherwise, Velvet's pretty standard. You're just spamming Nightmare Claw, and again, you did 1 stack of the Tiger Blade followed by multiple stacks of Demonic Blade. Keep in mind that because we have Cloud Pierce activate, we never really get Crest down to the absolutely lowest HP, because if we did that, we would be able to have him activate his special art. Just like, remember, less than 25% HP, each of the tails of, whether or not it's the old one or the new one, does have that kind of ability. Like I said, in the third fight, things are getting a little bit harder. This boss, for every hit you land against it, and unfortunately the tails of units all have multi-hits, it actually builds up stats, which you can see are the orbs, the gray orbs. For every orb you stack on it, I believe it increases it can consume it at the end of turn, increase its own power and int, and basically hit you really hard. And so unfortunately, we lost 2 units there. I didn't decide to re-record the fight because I wanted to show you there are struggles obviously when you're using more limited units, but it was kind of fun to use the first generation Tales of units to unlock the full potential of the second Tales of units. And so hopefully for fans of both the older and the new Tales of, you'll appreciate the efforts that I made in order to kind of use these units. Okay, again, in our final example, we are going to use the same team. Note that in all 4 fights, there's no attack in the first move. So technically you can attack without abandon, or just activate a 1-turn AF if you have more powerful teams, access to Grasta, or even some of the new gacha units that can activate zone right off the bat. Most of these enemies do have an HP stopper, as you can clearly see, I believe at the 30% mark. Not only that, but they do have a mix of physical and magical attacks, which is why type shields are really important. Physical shields, if you can manage them, and certainly the dual debuff is absolutely necessary. For this final fight, we use both Coil, which is a physical shield. We use type resistance from Guardian Field, and note that I did do the power down as well as the speed down on the enemies. And because of that, the multi bursts of the the machine guns weren't able to kill my enemy team. Now keep in mind that we don't have any status clear. The enemy automatically inflicts poison right off the bat, which is RNG related, and you're going to take some hits, and after each HP stopper it does put up a barrier that reduces the damage you can deal to it. Not only that, but you can see that there's some continuing damage, and I am trying to shield up. Remember, we do have Coil, we do have Guardian Field, and we do have the power down activated. However, I don't have Overdrive set up on Mila, and unfortunately because of that, when we do take Shock Blast right here, 3 of the 4 units died. However, this does give me an opportunity to use solo Yuri to activate his Mystic Art. Remember that what I said earlier in the video about 25% less or less HP? You can activate that special move which heals him up to max, and even solo in the AF was enough to kind of bring the last beast down. So keep in mind, you do get all 4 tomes that you can use, 1 for each of the new Tales of Collab units. Again, 350,000 points required for all 4 fights. And by beating all of this, like you can see what Amy and Aldo are discussing, you can come back here and fight the true version of them, which is a lot harder. I believe they give you other things as well, which I haven't started yet. Going through all this content is a little bit time consuming, so hopefully I get a chance to not only beat a lot of these super bosses, which I know I'm missing quite a few. I'll also be hoping to try out some of these different units in 5-star form and maybe doing some 5-star review videos on them once I get a chance over the Christmas holidays. After you're done, just go to the Space-Time Rift, and Lady Mid, which is the lady inside the shop, will give you the opportunity to upgrade. This is the great part about this collab. Not only that you do get all 4 collab units for free, keep in mind that we don't need any additional materials for upgrading. Some of the 4.5 to 5 in the previous or other units would need chant scripts, and so you can get them all right once. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.